polymers, definition of condensation, polymerization, all of that. This topic and a lot of organic year 2 is just topics you just have to, memorize. So condensation, polymerization involves two different types of monomers, each with at least two functional groups, and two different types of monomers, each with at least two functional groups, and each functional group reacts to the group another monomer, forming a link. Why is condensation, polymerization called condensation? Because each time a link is formed, a small molecule is lost. It's not always water, so don't always fall for that trap. But 99% of the time it is water, or 90% of the time it's water. So condensation, polymerization called condensation because each time a link is formed, a small molecule is lost. For example, water. 3 examples of condensation polymers: polyamides, polyesters, polypeptides, aka proteins. State what is formed between reaction of dicarboxylic acids and diamines. What is formed? Polyamides. And what groups react? Well, it's the carboxyl groups of the dicarboxylic acid react with amino groups of diamines to form amide links, hence forming polyamides. Those are the 3 examples of condensation polymers, and you do need to know these. Why do long chains form between dicarboxylic acids and diamines? Because dicarboxylic acids and diamines have functional groups at each end of the molecule, and therefore they can form extremely long chains because of the functional groups at each end of the molecule. State 2 things nylon 6,6 is made from. Is a polyamide made from 1,6-diaminohexane and hexane-dioic acid. 2 uses of nylon 6,6. And what is nylon 6,6? 2 uses: make clothing/carpet, airbags, parachutes. And nylon 6,6 is a polyamide made from 1,6-diaminohexane and hexane-dioic acid. 2 things Kevlar is made from. Kevlar is made from 1,4-diaminobenzene and benzene-1,4-dicarboxylic acid using bulletproof vests and car tires. And Kevlar is also a polyamide. The reaction between dicarboxylic acid and diols forms polyester. Polyesters, perfect. And what happens? Well, the idea that the carboxyl groups of dicarboxylic acid react with hydroxyl groups of diols to form ester links, whereas previously, the one to form polyamides, it was the carboxyl group of dicarboxylic acids reacting with amino groups on diamines to form an amide link and form polyamides. But in this case, carboxyl groups of dicarboxylic acids react with hydroxyl groups of diols to form ester links and polyesters are polymers joined by ester links. 2 things terylene PET is formed from. Terylene is formed from benzene-1,4-dicarboxylic acid and ethane-1,2-diol. I should have also stated 2 uses of terylene: plastic bottles, sheets, and sails. State how condensation, polymerization can be reversed. Hydrolysis, when water molecules are added back in and links are broken. And hydrolysis producing condensation, polymerization. Hydrolysis produces the original monomers. So by hydrolysis, water molecules are added back in, links are broken, hydrolysis produces the original monomers. Explain how condensation polymers are stronger than addition polymers. Contain polar bonds. They're made up of chains containing polar bonds. They also have permanent dipole-dipole forces and hydrogen bonds between the polymer chains. Made up of chains containing polar bonds, permanent dipole-dipole forces, and hydrogen bonds between polymer chains. State an advantage of condensation polymers. Have polar bonds in chain, attacked by nucleophiles, polymers are biodegradable, therefore can be broken down by hydrolysis. A disadvantage of addition polymers, non-biodegradable, can't be attacked. Advantage and disadvantage of burying waste plastics. Cheap and easy method of waste disposal, however, requires areas of land. As waste decomposes, releases methane, greenhouse gas, contributing to global warming. Advantage and disadvantage of burning waste/plastics. Well, number 1 is process needs to be controlled to reduce release of toxic gases. Yes, and the waste gases need to be passed through scrubbers which can neutralize gases, allowing them to react with a base. 2 ways of recycling plastics. Plastics can be melted and remolded, or plastics can be cracked into monomers, and these can be used to make more plastics. An advantage and disadvantage of recycling waste plastics. Cost of recycling plastics is lower than making plastics from scratch. However, plastics can be easily contaminated during recycling process. Now, these flashcards, a lot of them, like, you're not going to remember them the first time, but that's the process. We start now and give it a couple of weeks, and trust me guys, we'll have momentum and then easily be able to know all the flashcards.